What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while since I've posted a fishing video. I hope you guys liked the trolling for walleye, but I've been dealing with a little bit of a boat issue and I want to show you what's going on. So essentially I went lake trout fishing up in the mountains and I was trying to, come on George, lake trout footage. I was trying to get some good lake trout footage for you guys, and just ended up having a bad weekend, a really bad weekend. Michelle met me on Saturday afternoon at like 4, and we had dinner, and then we went to the campsite and camped out, and then we got on the lake about, I don't know, probably like 6 in the morning, something like that. Put my boat into gear, I run over to the spot where we're gonna be lake trout fishing, and as soon as I'm coming off a plane, I hear a ting in the motor. I wasn't exactly sure what it was at the time. I thought, you know, maybe the timing's off, or, you know, maybe the knock that I'm hearing is something less serious. So I obviously immediately turned the motor off when I heard the noise, but I started it back up to try to hear what was going on. And it was just kind of a ticking sound. Kind of sounded like a ticking of like, I don't know, like maybe a valve or something. Ended up that I turned off the motor and decided this is going to be really bad. I just have a feeling. So the day was ruined. I couldn't fish anymore. I was just over it. So we took the trolling motor out and went all the way back to the dock. I backed down my trailer to get the boat on the trailer. And by that time, the motor wouldn't even turn over anymore. It was seized. And so I thought for sure I blew a piston, something really bad happened. And over the last couple weeks, I've actually been looking into new power heads. I've been looking into new motors. Those options get really expensive. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into it, but it's like 16 grand for a new 200 Yamaha motor. So not money I have to spend right now, and just trying to figure out what my options were. I took some really good advice from Great Lakes Marine. They're a local shop around here, and they helped me understand that there was some diagnosis I could do on my own. So I've dropped the lower unit to see if it was a lower unit that got jammed up causing it to seize, or if it was the power head, and it ended up it indeed was the power head. So my thought process there was, okay, it's going to be 5 to 7 grand for a new power head and getting that put on. So you know, maybe I just take it apart, try to see what I can do. And so at this point, that's exactly what I have done. So let me show you. I have taken apart my entire back half of the motor, and I've pulled out the crankshaft. We have all of the rod bearings there and the rod caps. We have the crankcase right there, throttle plates. There's the reed valves underneath with 2 gaskets. The flywheel's been removed. There's the VST tank that everybody complains about on Yamaha motors, the air box. Right down here you have the crankshaft. And I didn't know what the problem was, and I had a buddy, Joey, which you've seen in one of my videos when we went out to Bar Lake and did some fishing and caught that big carp. Joey came over here and he helped me just kind of really label things and put things in the right place and just make sure that I wasn't messing anything up. And as we got the crankcase open, we were looking at all of the rods and the connecting rods and the case itself. And let me get a flashlight here. We found this. So I don't know how well you can see that. The bolt that holds the cap on the end of the rod. Let me get that and I'll show you. This cap right here, it goes around the crankshaft journal and holds onto that journal and moves up and down. Well, one of the bolts on this side had come free. It rolled around in that part of the crankcase and then did that nice little tattoo stamp job on the bottom there of my motor. So, whoops, I just dropped the flashlight. So, I thought the worst of my problems was that right there hole in the crankcase. After consulting some people, it sounds like that can be repaired with like an aircraft grade epoxy. So then my new option now is to repair the crankcase. Now, I eventually would love to get a new motor, but right now the cost just is not a question at this point. I cannot spend that amount of money right now. So my idea is to try to fix it. If I get 100 hours out of this motor, it'll be worth it to me. Gets me back on the water for, you know, another year and a half or so, and gives me an opportunity to catch some fish this summer, because it is the heat of the summer. Every boat shop is booked up, and it's $5,000 for a new power head. It's just plain and simple. So I'm going to try to fix this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to polish the crankshaft. I'm going to repair that hole, or stamp, if you will, with that aircraft grade epoxy. I'm going to get a new connecting rod, which is this guy right here. I'm going to get a new connecting rod and connect it to that piston, and a connecting rod cap that goes on the back of it, and then a new bearing inside of it. And then all the gaskets. So there's tons of gaskets on this motor and tons of seals and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to replace those as well. After that, I'm going to seal this bad boy up, put it on the cherry picker, put it back in the boat, and try to run it. And just cross my fingers that we can get another 100 hours out of it.